everyone, welcome to today's perfume video. I hope you're doing well. So today I'm going to be doing the 2020 throwback tag, which was created by the wonderful Rebecca Colazzo here on YouTube. I'm sure many of you who follow my channel will also be familiar with her channel, but just in case you're not, I'm going to leave all of her details in the description bar below. So I've got a series of really interesting questions here. There's 15 questions here relating to my perfume collection last year, and I think this is going to be really interesting because actually my whole collection was basically created last year. You know, prior to 2020 I didn't really have like what you'd call a collection. I had maybe like one or two perfumes, but I really started my perfume journey properly in 2020. So yeah, as I say, all of these questions are relating to my perfume collection last year. I didn't know off the top of my head the answer to a lot of these, so I've printed off my trusty Fragrantica profile just so I can like see at a glance which ones I currently have, which ones I used to own, and things like that, because some of these questions relate to decluttered perfumes and things like that. So I have printed this off just because I was looking through the questions and I was kind of thinking like, oh my goodness, my memory is so terrible. But yeah, so I've got this as a little aid. Okay, so question number one is, what was your first fragrance purchase of 2020? Now, I'm not sure if this is like 100% accurate, but the first fragrance that I really remember purchasing was this beauty here, Poison Girl. So this was around February, March in 2020 that I bought this, and it really sticks in my mind because, as some of you guys may know, I really love this fragrance. It's kind of inspired me. It's one of my favorites. I just really love it. And what I would say actually is this is one of the first fragrances I purchased in 2020, and it also really sparked that inspiration to like continue buying fragrances, and it also really got me into perfumery in general, just because this was very unique to me at the time. Like, I'd never really smelt anything like this, and I was just so captured by it. And I think for that reason it just really kind of spurred me on to like continue exploring the world of perfumery. Like, it opened my eyes to what's out there. Yeah, it was just a really exciting time. I love this one. It's a really unique, sweet scent in my opinion. Quite balsamic, very interesting, like powdery, almond, sweet, orange blossom. It's just absolutely divine. So yeah, that was my first purchase of 2020. Dior Poison Girl Eau de Parfum. I don't know what my hair is doing today. It's so messy. Ugh. Question number two is, what was my last fragrance purchase of 2020? Now again, I'm really sorry, but I'm not 100% sure on this one. There were quite a few that I purchased towards the end of the year. Certainly I can remember a few that I bought in December, but I'm gonna go with Mugler Aura. Yeah, Mugler Aura, let's just say that one. I'm not 100% sure, like there were a few, but I'm gonna go with this one. So that is Mugler Aura. I absolutely love it. Again, this was another fragrance which like just further inspired me to delve into the perfume world because it's so unique. It is just such a strange smell, and it's not a smell that I ever thought I would like, but I actually love it. Oh my goodness, it's just amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna go with this one, Mugler Aura. Question number three, what was my favourite purchase of 2020? Oh my gosh, that's such a tricky one because there's definitely a few, considering that probably like 90% of my whole collection was bought in 2020. That's like basically trying to choose a favourite out of my whole collection essentially. But what I might just go with, I think again I'm gonna go with Poison Girl, just because this perfume really kind of started it all for me in a way. This fragrance really inspired me, and I just loved it so much, and I wore it a lot during 2020, and it's one that I mention a lot. You know, it comes up in a lot of my favourites videos. It's just addictive. When I think of this fragrance, I think of like the start of my fragrance journey really, because it was from that point that I then started to buy more and more, and I was really interested in fragrances. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with Poison Girl again for my favourite purchase of 2020. Question number four, what was my least favourite purchase of 2020? Ooh, let's think. At this point I'm now going to refer to my little sheet because I don't know if I would count, is this including decluttered fragrances, or is this or does this just mean ones that I still have in my collection? I'm gonna go with a fragrance that I still own, so it might be a declutter in the future, but the fragrance that I kind of regret buying is Decadence, just because at this point like I don't really wear it. and it's quite strange, but to the point where I just really don't know when to wear it really. I mean, it's quite nice, but it just sits there, and I don't know if I love it yet. I do like it, but I just don't like love it, and I could probably do without it. I don't know, like I'm not blown away by it. This fragrance is very, very unique and unusual, and although I like that about it, I would say I very much prefer the likes of this fragrance more than this one. These kind of have some similarities in terms of like the genre of scent that it is. They don't smell similar, but in terms of, you know, the way that they're both green, they're both very strange, and things like that. I definitely prefer Aura. I'm not quite sure where to wear this. Aura to me is still quite a womanly, beautiful fragrance, whereas this one here, I'm not quite sure if the same could be said for Marc Jacobs Decadence. I'm just not sure. So at the moment I would say that this is a slight regret in the sense that I haven't worn it a lot, but that could change, you know. I mean, I might test it out a bit more and then grow to love it, but as it stands right now I would just say Marc Jacobs Decadence. First fragrance decluttered of 2020. I'll just refer to my handy sheet here. I think the first fragrance I decluttered was either Creed Royal Princess Oud, or actually no, I think it was that fragrance. So I decluttered Royal Princess Oud by Creed. It's a fragrance that I'd actually really wanted for a long time, so I was slightly surprised, you know, that I ended up decluttering it, but I just wasn't wearing it and it wasn't as nice as I remembered, and it just wasn't very me, to be honest. So yeah, I ended up decluttering that one. As far as decluttered fragrances are concerned, I decluttered like a huge portion of fragrances this year, but in 2020 I would say I only really decluttered 1 or 2. But as I say, it was this year that I decluttered around 20 to 30 fragrances, as you might have seen in my fairly recent declutter videos. I did a massive spring cleaning of my collection and I got rid of loads that I wasn't wearing. But last year I would say, yeah, Royal Princess Oud, I think that might have even been the only one that I decluttered. Let's have a wee look. No, I decluttered Armaf Club de Nuit Intense. I decluttered that one as well last year, but I think the first perfume I actually decluttered was Royal Princess Oud from Creed. Okay, so question number 6 is, what's the last fragrance you decluttered? So as I say, it was only really like 2-ish perfumes that I decluttered last year, so I'll say the first one was Royal Princess Oud and I'll say the last one was Club de Nuit Intense by Armaf. Question 7 is, which fragrance did I repurchase in 2020? So I repurchased this beauty here, Flora Botanica. Now I adore this fragrance so much, very saddened to hear that it is being discontinued. I don't know why they would discontinue this fragrance because it's just incredible, it's so unique and beautiful and versatile. I love it, so I don't know why they're discontinuing it, that's a real shame. But I first owned this fragrance when I was a teenager, and throughout the course of 2020, because I was at that point watching, you know, perfume review videos and things like that, I kept hearing everyone mention this gem and it just reminded me of how good it is, so I decided to repurchase it, and that's very rare for me to do that, so it kind of says a lot if I actually go out of my way to rebuy a fragrance, just because there's so many perfumes out there to try, and the way I am, I kind of I view a fragrance most of the time as like a chapter in my life that, you know, once it's done I kind of move on, not because I don't love it, it's just normally I would want to move on because I associate a fragrance with like a particular chapter in my life. But anyway, so it's very rare for me to actually rebuy one, but I wanted to rebuy this because it's very, very good. Question number 8 is, which fragrance do you wish you purchased in 2020? Not gonna lie, I think I bought pretty much every one I wanted. I mean, I bought the majority of my collection, as I say. Throughout that year I bought so many perfumes, and I think pretty much every one that I kind of wanted I would buy it, you know, not necessarily straight away, you know, but eventually I would buy it. And I think looking over the course of the whole year, I'm pretty sure I did buy every fragrance more or less that I kind of wanted. Actually, I think for my least favourite purchase I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to say Narciso Ambre, because that one sort of fell flat for me in the end. I did really enjoy wearing it a few times over the summer of 2020, but I ended up decluttering that one this year. So I do kind of regret buying it, I suppose, because it was a blind buy, and yeah, I just kind of wish I hadn't bothered, because I did end up decluttering it and it was still pretty much full and things like that. So yeah, I'll say that my least favourite purchase was Narciso Ambre. Question number 9 is, what was the most expensive fragrance you bought in 2020? Parfum de Marly Delina Exclusive. Now, this was definitely my most expensive purchase, but I absolutely love it and it was 100% worth it. I don't mind spending more on a perfume if it's really, really worth it. I'll just save up, I'll wait a bit longer and save up extra and then splash out on a really nice fragrance. This one is one of those perfumes that's really worth it to me. I adore this fragrance. I think it's a work of art. I think the scent profile is unique, beautiful, absolutely incredible, you guys. It's absolutely beautiful. You may have seen my unboxing video. I filmed that kind of, I can't remember when it was, it might have been like kind of halfway through the year, June, probably June, July time. I filmed my unboxing video. It was one of my first ever videos, and I was extremely excited, as you could see in the video. I was just completely beside myself because this was the first really luxurious fragrance purchase that I made in my whole perfume journey. So yeah, I was really excited to buy this. I think it's stunning. I definitely want to keep the box. Everything about it is just utterly exquisite and I love it. Just realised I hadn't chosen my scent of the day. I'm going to wear Flora Botanica today because it's quite warm in my room and I want something refreshing. Question number 10 is, what was my least expensive purchase? Now, there could have been a few answers for this. I'm going to show these two fragrances for that answer, Rihanna Nude and La Rive in Woman Red. These are both really good fragrances, very, very affordable. This one here was around £13, this one here probably around a similar price. So, you know, around about £20 for the both of them. Incredible value. These are really nice perfumes, particularly this one. This is a really good fragrance. I adore this one. Very fresh, sweet, clean shampoo, feminine kind of fragrance, which I adore. This one is like an apricot cream, sweet, creamy kind of floral fragrance. Yeah, very creamy, very sweet, apricot-y and beautiful. So these are both really cheap, but they're actually very good. Oh, are you guys ready for question number 11? How many perfumes did you purchase in 2020 or were gifted? Okay, so again, I'm gonna refer to my sheet here and just basically count up all of the fragrance. I mean, as I say, the majority of my collection was bought last year, so this is gonna be quite a large number, I would imagine. Okay, so I've counted around 60. That seems like a fair number, I think, considering that it's the majority of my collection, as I say. Before 2020 I might have had maybe 2 or 3 fragrances. I really didn't have that many. And it was really in 2020 that my love for fragrances exploded, and then I think during lockdown as well I had like more time on my hands, so I was really investing into discovering fragrances, like posting about them on Instagram and then subsequently starting my perfume channel. So yeah, as I say, my whole collection more or less was created last year, so I would say around 60 bottles. Question number 12, how many did you declutter? So last year, as I say, I only decluttered around 2, maybe 3, I can't quite remember. I would say 2 perfumes really. And then this year I decluttered between 20 to 30, so that's when I really shifted my collection this year. But last year I decluttered around 2 bottles. Question number 13, do you regret decluttering a perfume? I guess the short answer to that is no, I don't regret any decluttered fragrances. Certainly none from last year, and even though I've decluttered like up to 30 bottles this year, I certainly do not regret any of them. Usually by the time I actually come to declutter a fragrance, leading up to that decision I will have thought about it a lot, so by the time I actually do declutter them, I've really decided, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like when you break up with somebody. You don't normally just randomly break up with somebody, it's usually because you've considered it for like weeks or months sometimes. So as a result, I don't regret decluttering any fragrances. Question number 14, what was your biggest dent in 2020? That's an interesting one. So there's a few fragrances I could mention for this question. There's a few that I know that I used a lot. The two I'm going to mention are these fragrances here. So there is Lancôme La Nuit Trésor à la Folie, and this one you can quite clearly see how much I've used, so I'll try and hold it up so you can see. It's probably around, you can see the level there, so a third of it has been used. That's quite a substantial dent considering I only bought this last year. And although I can't actually see the level in this fragrance here, Narciso Poudre, I'm going to hazard a guess that this one also has a fairly substantial dent because I wore this one a lot. I wear this one a lot now. It's such a nice, easy reach, beautiful, everyday feminine, beautiful powdery musky fragrance, and I absolutely love it. It's certainly a very well loved fragrance and I did wear it a lot throughout the course of 2020, so I'm going to hazard a guess and say that this has a dent in it as well. So Narciso Poudre and La Nuit Trésor à la Folie. Question number 15, what perfume did you not wear? Probably I'm gonna choose Lancôme Poème for this question because that was a fragrance which I was really aware of how beautiful it was, but I just didn't wear it, and I ended up decluttering that fragrance this year. So that fragrance was very much sitting there throughout the whole course of last year, not being worn at all. And I was quite surprised at this because it is truly a beautiful fragrance. I just found it a little bit too mature, too rich, and like quite heady, quite strong, so it lasted a really, really, really long time, you know. So I just never really could commit to having a full wear of the fragrance just because it was very, very persistent. And yeah, I don't know, it's a beautiful scent, but I just never wore it, so I then decluttered it earlier this year. So there we have it, you guys. I hope I didn't miss out any of the questions. I'm pretty sure I covered them all, but there you have it, my 2020 throwback tag. Thanks again to Rebecca Colazzo for tagging me. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. And as I say, definitely check out her channel if you haven't already. She is just lovely. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I truly appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.